Okay. Question 4. Do you have any questions that you want to know from other people who are interested in the interconnection of Chinese and American culture? Ooh, that's a good question. So like, for other people who are interested in this, do I have any questions for them?
Yeah.
I guess my biggest question to them is like, how would you describe the differences between Chinese and American culture, and how would you describe like the similarities, and how would you best describe that to people like from America who aren't really exposed to that? Because I think that one thing that I kind of struggle with is like after going to China and coming back, a lot of people ask like, oh, so like, did you like China? How was China? And for a lot of people here who haven't been there, they like don't understand where I'm coming from whenever I try to explain some of my experiences. And so trying to ask like other people, how do you go about explaining like the differences and the similarities between China and America?
Yeah. Is that what you're curious about? Like what
Yeah.
from them?
Yeah. I
Okay.
guess so.
It's a weird question. Like I don't I wrote it down, but I wasn't sure like what exactly I wanted to ask. But like I've always like had interactions with people who are interested in like both cultures and the difference in like things in common.
Yeah.
But but also, I mean, you think that they have like opinions on China or like the cultural difference, like similar opinions, but they don't. Like every one of them is like so different. Like they have very different experiences with China, or like grew up in different parts in the U.S.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like as someone that is in that community, I guess like I don't know. Do you have like friends like like you like
Yeah.
who's American but is really interesting the both culture?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess one thing that I like to ask people is why they're so interested in like the interconnection between Chinese and American culture, because a lot of people just have very different answers.
Yeah.
Because so like this summer, the program that I went to China with, we were from all different parts of the United States, and we were going there together. And asking people like why they were interested like specifically in China
Yeah.
was really interesting because some people like they're very passionate about like Chinese history and like how that's like grown into like what China is today, or like they're very interested. They were very interested in like Japanese history, but then like the more they learned about China, like the more they wanted to know about China. Or like they're really interested in Chinese pop stuff, like pop
Really?
music,
Okay,
or like
that's
yeah,
weird.
I know. So it just
Okay.
depends on the person.
So okay, so for example, I'm Chinese,
Yeah.
and every time I run into like Chinese, yeah, in the U.S.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we just like casually chatting, I'm like curious about like if they've run into problems like this in the U.S.
Right.
Like like those kind of questions.
Yeah.
Like like since you're friends and you probably like I don't know, like as you're exploring the culture,
Yeah.
what are the things that you think other people may have experienced and curious if they have experienced or something? I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I understand. Ooh, that's a good one. What are some things I was curious about? I was really curious about like WeChat culture at the beginning because like WeChat's not really popular in America, and so
Yeah.
like going to China I had to get used to it really quickly. Especially like because I had a Chinese roommate who was my age over there, and like she would always like message or call me on WeChat, and like the more groups that I got added to, like the more I was like, oh wow, like WeChat is kind of its own culture. Like there are very specific like memes that are funny, like or like the stickers that are funny, like on WeChat, and I was like using them incorrectly, I think, and like I don't know, just
it
stuff
needs
like that.
a like really strong culture background.
Yeah.
Cause it's like Star Wars, and like we didn't grow up watching Star Wars. A lot of like memes, like I don't know, just doesn't really like make sense. Even they make sense, like, but they don't make sense.
Right.
You don't feel the same So yeah, so that's what you experience.
Yeah,
with,
exactly. So I think
student.
that's one of like my biggest questions is like figuring out because it's always changing too because it's so
Yeah.
fast and like yeah.
And the jokes, they do a lot of jokes with like the words. They twist it
Yes.
around and then
Yeah.
make jokes. So like yeah, and it changes like all the time. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. My professor was trying to teach us about the word "skr"
Oh
at the
my
beginning of
God.
the semester, and like I still don't get it. Like
I don't
we
get
spent
it
like a
either.
whole week. You don't get it
I don't
either.
get it either.
I'm like, oh
Oh.
my gosh. We spent like a whole week talking about it, and like we watched videos and read articles, and I was like, I don't understand it. I know, and like
I don't get it.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
So stuff like that. I guess I'm curious about. Yeah.
Yeah, what they think about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's a good question.
Nice. Thanks. Okay.